For the women, more opportunities of ministry need to be opened up in the body of Messiah. More opportunities of ministry for women. It is often frustration over the lack of these that has led to a demand for leadership by women. Many Christian women who accept that biblical leadership is male rightly complain that avenues of ministry have been unnecessarily inhibited by male monopoly, and the charge is often justified. The variety and the scope of women's ministry are outside the range of this book, which is exclusively concerned with the issue of leadership by women. However, the writer is convinced that there are many more to be explored than is customary, which do not in any way involve the direction of men. The church has need of spiritual mothers as well as fathers. As they recover their special mission to the poor, women will be seen to be more suitable than men for works of mercy. Proverbs 31:20, the woman who lends and gives to the poor, right? She's generous, her hands are open, all right? So, which will be increasingly needed as governmental assistance programs fail. So there's going to be a need more for mercy, for giving, for helping the poor as the government fails. The public ministries of praying and prophesying are particularly effective when exercised by women of spiritual insight and sensitivity. Women are in the office of prophets and evangelists, but not leaders over men. That's the point. There's a place, and they need to take it, and they need to make more room for women in the body of Messiah for such. In short, the work of the kingdom needs both men and women as fellow workers with each other and with God. Christian women are capable of working very hard for the Lord. Let's see. They should be given every possible opportunity of gaining their reward in heaven. Their selfless, sacrificial, and often secret service is a special delight to the Lord. For the men need more training for leadership. And it's the reason why women have taken the place, because men are sitting there going, wide open. Okay? The answer to the present imbalance is not to weaken the women's contribution, but to strengthen the men. Local churches must give top priority to evangelizing and discipling the men. His investment of time and teaching in a handful of men, Jesus' investment of time and teaching in a handful of men, most of whom were skilled manual workers. It laid the right foundation for the church that would experience spectacular growth. It's better to teach a man to lead his wife and family than to provide women's meetings and youth clubs to compensate for a godless father. Jack Hayford's example in his book, The Church on the Way, could be profitably followed by most pastors. He says, meet with the men. In many countries, men have to leave their families and jobs for a time of military training each year so that they can defend their homes and communities and nation against enemies. The author has a vision for a very large gathering of men in such a spiritual training camp to encourage them to be leaders in their families, in their churches, employment, communities, and the nation itself. Interest is spreading and enthusiasm is growing. It would be utterly wrong to deny leadership to women and do little or nothing about training men for that responsibility. Working all this out in our local churches and national cultures requires wisdom, great wisdom, and this book has deliberately refrained from detailed application. Okay, direction comes from the scriptures, and direction comes from the Holy Spirit. The Word tells us where to go. Wisdom tells us how. This final chapter has attempted to ask the right questions, but not to give the final answers. The author hopes that the reader is left in the creative tension between what is and what should be that highlights the need of the body for the head, the bride for the bridegroom.